I'm Allison Gentry, and this is the 61 Ranch, which was established in, oddly enough, 1961 by my parents. In 2009, when the incident happened, 7 animals were shot. 1 was taken. On the 6th of November, I was driving around the property, as I usually do. A routine check of the perimeter during hunting season is something we've done for 30 years. And I came up to our hayfield and saw 3 people in the hayfield and a dead deer and a truck parked on the road. So I stopped. I saw one person with a rifle to their shoulder taking aim at another deer. So I stopped to take pictures from my car, rolled the window down and took a few photographs. The gentleman in the truck parked was Jason Nixon. He came boiling out of the cab, striding up the road, saying, "Did I say you could take my picture? You can't take my picture." And I still had the window of my car open, so he reached in and started swatting at the camera to get it away from me. At this point, another neighbor who knew I was out there drove up behind my car, and she also had a camera. So now you've got 2 troublesome women who are taking pictures. And he was trying to stop her car. She drove around him. But the 3 people in our hayfield saw the ruckus going on the road and climbed through the fence at that point with their guns and came towards the truck. At which point, Mr. Nixon turned and looked at them in the ditch and said, "Hey," whoever his friend was, "do you want to just shoot the bitch?" This was obviously a case of poaching. So I phoned it in to the RAP line, the Report a Poacher line. I was worried about retaliation. Once charges had been laid and the SRD had both poaching charges and also this assault allegation had been put to the Crown, I was actually quite worried about, well, let's face it, I am driving around the countryside taking pictures of hunters who are by definition armed. Retaliation is inevitable. Poaching is kind of the rural equivalent to smash and grab. The case that came up referring to me was not poaching. In this case, it was assault because he had come after me unprovoked. Now, the case came to court. Mr. Nixon pled guilty to simple assault. He was subjected to a peace bond for 1 year and a $2,000 cash fine. When he was nominated as a candidate in 2015, I was appalled, but he was not representing my riding. After the election, I did manage to get a hold of a member of the nominating committee for Rimbey Sundry Rocky Mountain House and told them what had happened, gave them my statements that I had submitted to the court. And they were both surprised and slightly annoyed that this hadn't come out in the nomination process. I was contacted by a gal named Leela Singh Ahrir, I believe. Anyway, she said, "We want to know more about this. We want to know what you have to say." And I said, "Fine, here. Absolutely. Here's my police statement and my victim impact statement. This will give you a rundown of what happened. I had the court docket numbers and attached the date of the court appearances and also the date that the peace bond was signed. The risk is that I am out there by myself with the dog and a camera and reporting them for illegal activity. But I didn't escalate this incident. Mr. Nixon did. I was sitting in my car taking a photograph of people doing something illegal on our property. They picked that spot because nobody could see them from a house. Nobody's going to hear me scream. You can do what you can do. There's more than just my incident. There's more than simply, there's a pattern of what seems to be general belligerence. a sort of habitual misogyny, and then a very casual contempt for private property and an entitlement that seems to go along with being who he is, which I find really of concern now that if you hear him tell it, he's going to be the deputy premier. One should acknowledge the character of the representative that one has in the legislature. There's a pattern of behavior here that really calls into question, in my mind, fitness to serve as a public figure. So at this point, if I don't say something, I have to live with myself, and this needs to be heard.